Hello everyone, I'm Leo Shanten, Laboratory 29X613. Today I will present about my individual assignment for SCCVK2013 Human-Computer Interaction. The case study I choose is the e-learning platform for primary school children.
And next, let me introduce this case study. This case study is a gamified e-learning platform that designed for primary school children to the age 6 to 10 to end the subject mathematics and science. The target users of the platform aim to create an engaging, interactive, and educational experience suitable for the young learners, while also supporting the teachers and parents. So the key talent of this case study is communicating short attention span and early literacy levels, ensuring PDPA compliance for children data, and ensuring the compatibility with low-end school tablet.
This is the UX technique that I use. First is contextual inquiry, card sorting, and heuristic evaluation.
And first technique is contextual inquiry for the research stage. The definition of contextual inquiry is a type in order to obtain an extensive understanding of work practice and behavior. A small sample of users is observed and interviewed in depth as part of a cultural field study. And how it could be used in this case study? It has 4 principles of this technique. First principle is context. It emphasizes conducting research in the user's natural environment to observe genuine behaviors. For example, the researcher would visit the pilot school and observe children using educational tools in classroom setting or during the homework section. Observing students during real lesson helps capture authentic reactions such as attention drift, confusion with instruction, or difficulty navigating the interfaces. It's because the children may struggle to express what they find challenging or interesting. The context-based observations show what they do rather than just what they say. Next, the principle is partnership. It treats the user with its children and teachers as a cooperative partner rather than a just passive subject. The researchers will not dominate the session with preset questions. Instead, they allow the interaction to flow naturally, engaging both teachers and students. It's because the children feel more comfortable when the session feels like play or regular schoolwork rather than a formal evaluation. The third principle is interpretation. It forming a shared understanding with users about observed behavior and workflow. It ensuring the insights reflect a real needs. After the session, researchers could review findings with teachers and parents to confirm interpretation. And next principle is focus. It ensures that the inquiry remains in line with the design goal and constraint of the project. In order to understand how children interact with the gamified learning interface, researchers must plan ahead with a strong focus on usability of low literacy and short attention span users. Observation would specifically focus on how kids interact with the material, react to gamification components, and get assistance from the teachers. The add functionality on low-end tablets would also be considered. So it's because the maintaining a sharp focus ensures the most valuable insights are gathered early and inform the entire design cycle. Next, this is the strength and limitation of this technique. The strength have authentic insight, rich contextual data, and the empathy building. And the limitation has observed effect, time-intensive, and ethical legal barriers. And next, this is a comparison with the alternative technique. The surveys and focus groups is easy to distribute to teachers and parents, but it's ineffective for kids due to the reading level and attention span, and children may struggle to express their complex thoughts verbally. So it shows that contextual inquiry is more suitable for this case study because it enables to discovery of suited UI interaction issues, examples for small button confused iconography. And it's for child-centered design, indirect observation is far more revealing than what children can self-report. And next, the feature of this technique. Time, the 6-month cycle allows enough time to conduct multiple school visits, and the resource access to child psychologists can guide ethical and age-appropriate observation. The diversity by visiting different schools, a broader range of socioeconomic and digital literacy contexts can be explored. And finally, the project goals is the need for gamification and accessibility for low-end tablet benefit greatly from real-world testing with actual users. The next technique is the card sorting, also from the research stage. The card sorting is a research technique that involves study participant group individually label cards based on the criteria that make the most sense to them. For example, the page, link, picture, or description of the page user would visit on your website can all be included in the set of the card. The card sorting I choose is in-person card sorting. It can be made playful with physical card, color, sticker. It can observe hesitation, confusion, or interaction behavior in real time. It's easy to get to explain, guide, and clarify instruction. So the step 1 for the card sorting is to define the goal. Define what researchers want to learn, how children mentally categorize math and science content, and what the terminology of grouping makes sense to them. And the next step is to create content item, which is card. Each card represents a piece of content function or topic. For example, the math had addition, subtraction, and the science have animal or plants. The use of icon-based card or picture with symbol labels. The print card on brightly colored paper or use touchscreen interface on the tablet. And next step is to select the card sorting method. It has 3 card sorting methods, which is open card sorting. The children create their own group and label them. And closed card sorting, the children are given predefined categories. And hybrid sorting is a predefined categories and plus option to create a new one. And the next step is conduct in-person session at Pillow School. Conduct session individually or in a small group in 10 minutes to 15 minutes. The researchers, teachers, or assistants to guide children avoiding bias but offering help with reading or comprehension. Next step is observe and record behavior. Researchers track how long the children take to group card and note the hesitation or confusion, such as difficult to difference between the experience and videos, and ask follow-up questions, such as why did you put this together? And the next step is analyze the result for patterns. Look for trends in how children group and label the item. Look for consistent grouping such as addition, subtraction, or often grouped together. And review what children name the categories such as fun stuff instead of games. And find any misconception or unexpected grouping that might point to weakness in the information structure as it stands. And the last step is translate the finding into design. Use the data to structure the platform homepage or the dashboard. Prioritize the terms and categories that children understand and use naturally. Group topic in a way that reflects how children think, not how adults assume they think. And next is a strength and limitation of this technique. The strength have flexible format and support child-friendly information architecture IA design. For example, create logical menu categories such as grouping, addition, and subtraction under the basic map, and organizing the navigation and layout in a way that feels natural to the target users. But the limitation of this technique is parental teacher mediation required. It often requires adults to guide or interpret the child response, which might introduce the bias, and also the literacy barriers. And next is the compare with the alternative technique. The user interview is moderate suitable for this case study, but is better with the teachers and parents, because the children may struggle to express their ideas clearly and their response might be influenced by the adults. And the 3 testing is validity test whether the existing IA content hierarchy and labels work for users, but it's often remote and test-based pre-navigation, and this less visual and engaging for the children. So it's so that card sorting is more suitable for this case study because it's a children match and group card. So it's highly interactive and card can be visual and icon-based. So it's easier to manage in person session, reduce the data tracking. Next is the factor. First, it could take more time to prepare and create kid-friendly card, and the resource is the facilitation, instructional materials, and perhaps the digital card tools are required. For the diversity, because the literacy level vary widely, early readers and visual learners must be accommodated in design. And the project goal is essential to achieving the objective of content viability and age-appropriate usability. And the final technique I choose is heuristic evaluation for the testing stage. The definition of this technique is one technique for finding design flaw in a user interface. Is to make system easy to use, evaluator compare the design to a set of rules known as a heuristic. It involves a usability expert reviewing the interface and judging it against recognized usability principles, such as Nielsen 10 general principle. And how this technique can be used, it has 4 steps. The first step is to prepare the evaluator. Assemble a team of 3 to 5 evaluators with expertise in child-centered design, UX or UI design, and educational content. This diversity ensures a comprehensive assessment. And 2 is conduct an individual evaluation. Independent review for each evaluator independently examining the e-learning platform, identifying usability issues based on the heuristic. This independence prevents the groupthink and encourages the diverse perspective. And third one is aggregate findings. Consolidate issues. After individual evaluation, gather all identified issues into a single document. And the last step is debrief and recommend. Team discussion. Hold a session where evaluators discuss their findings, focusing on high severity issues. Actionable recommendation. Develop clear, actionable suggestions for addressing each identified problem. And next is the strength and limitation of this technique. The strength has the minimal planning need. The time can be saved by employing structured heuristic while working with the internal team members, and the yearly feedback during development and leverage expert insight. The limitation of this technique is lack real child feedback. The children may react emotionally or playfully in a way evaluator cannot predict, and also the subjectivity risk. And next is a comparison with alternative technique. Usability testing will less suitable for this case study because it's only 10 sessions allowed and children may struggle to articulate problems. And the A/B testing is require large use space and not feasible in the school environment. So it shows that heuristic evaluation is more suitable for this case study because it allows quick issues detection before the child testing and important given limited test session. Last, this is a feature of this technique, the time. With only 10 usability testing sessions allowed, using heuristic evaluation early allows the design team to identify and address core usability issues before involving the real users. This ensures that limited testing time with children is focused on deeper insights like engagement and learning outcomes rather than basic functionality. And the resource is highly resource efficient because it requires only internal experts such as the UX researchers and accessibility consultant. The diversity. Support user diversity by allowing expert evaluators to simulate how different types of user children with low literacy, short attention span, or cognitive difference it might interact with the platform. And last, the project goals. It fit for the early testing phase of this child-focused e-learning platform and efficiently uncover usability flaws, optimize limited testing session, and meet project goal for accessibility and clarity. And this is a reference for my assignment. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you.